Hello?
Yes, Shabin, we can see your screen.
Okay, all right. So basically, I'm going to explain to you this task, this qualification process. So there are three qualifications that you need to do. Okay, there is qualification 1A, then there's qualification 1B, and then there is qualification 2. Okay, this video I will cover all the qualifications. Okay, but when I make the video later, um, I will separate qual 1A and 1B together, and then a separate video will be for qualification 2. Okay, so let me open the worker portal first. Okay, now this task is going to be very, very, very subjective. Okay, so it has taken us quite some time to understand the task. It has taken us quite a bit of time actually to, to even understand what we are doing. Okay, so I'm going to explain to you first the quals. Okay, so here are the quals. Okay, we'll go through it slowly. Okay, we'll understand it better. I don't want to rush because it's very subjective and very difficult, and to be honest, even I sometimes don't get it. Okay, but I'm going to do my best to make sure that I try my best to share whatever knowledge I know. Okay, this is the nature of the task. Okay, so you cannot go in with the objective mind. You have to have a very creative mind, and a lot of imagination is involved. Okay, if you know Photoshop, then it's better. Okay, so ready. So basically, the project, okay, is for us to look at images and also determine what are certain things in a picture that is causing a distraction. Distraction means what are some things in a picture that is um, that is not professionally taken, that can be edited out to make the picture look better. So if you look at pictures on online wherever, like uh, okay. So all these pictures are all already edited. Okay, all these pictures are already edited. They are already um, they've already removed certain things from the pictures, which is why you see all beautiful pictures. Okay, but what I'm going to show you now are pictures of things, pictures that people like you and me, we capture those pictures. So these are all pictures that are very good. These are all good pictures. They are nice pictures, but they are pictures that are taken by people like us who don't really understand, who don't really know how like what photography is. Okay, so what the client is trying to do, the client is trying to turn this kind of pictures, okay, whatever this kind of pictures, okay, any pictures, okay, any pictures into something like this, something like this pictures here. Okay, so far you're following me, everyone?
Yes, Shabin.
Yeah, I need to just make sure. Yeah. Okay. So with that said, okay, so what we have designed is that we have made the quals into 3 different quals, okay, so that you actually would understand uh, the process, the whole process of making sure this whole qualification. So talking a bit about this kind of picture. So what essentially the client is trying to do is that, okay, let's look at this picture. Okay, I'm going to take a screenshot now. Okay. Let's look at this picture right here. Okay, this is a picture of a living room. Okay, so there are certain things in this picture that is actually it's not saying that it's bothering. I don't want to use the word bother, but I want to use the word um, doesn't make it look nice. That can be removed, where the picture will look much better and much beautiful, if you ask me. Okay. So, for example, the first thing the picture has that is not really blending into the entire scene. The first thing that you look at is you look at the scene. You look at the scene, you determine what is the scene trying to say. So this picture here, what is the picture trying to say? This is a picture of a staircase and a table, and also there's a floor, and the that is like a door, and the door is made out of from wood. Okay, so that is the picture. That is the focus. That is the target of the picture. Okay, certain things that are bothering, not bothering, that doesn't fit into the picture, okay, are the following things. This plant right here, this vent right here, and then this line right here. Understand? So imagine, okay, imagine what will happen. Imagine a picture without the plant, without the line, without the vent. How will it look?
It look good, sir.
To look better, right?
Yeah.
So this is the project. The project is we are trying to, ultimately what we are trying to do, we are trying to identify what are the things that are bothering in the picture. Well, technically there are a few other things that bothering in this picture also, which we will go through in a while. This plug point also is ugly. Without this plug point, it will look much nicer. And maybe this hole also. So what the client is trying to do is, we will identify and we will draw polygon around all these items. These are all known as distractor. Okay, so once we draw polygon around this and send to the client will actually use Photoshop, okay, or get the machine to use Photoshop and remove all these things from the picture to make the picture look nicer. Understand? So that is the project. Okay. Now, before you remove something from a picture, there are a few things that I want to talk to you about. Okay. That is important. Okay, that is very crucial, and all this will be addressed as and when it is going, as and when the instructions are going. But this is essentially the focus or the subject or the theme of the entire project. Okay, we have a client who wants to teach their machine to do Photoshop. We are looking at pictures, looking what are the flaws of the pictures. When I say flaws, it's not the entire picture. So again, sometimes you might think that, oh, maybe I want to remove like this dot here also. I'm using a different color now. So maybe if I remove this dot, maybe I remove this hole, maybe I remove uh, this staircase line, the picture might look better. No, not necessarily. By removing the things that I'm drawing in yellow, you are making, and maybe these things like this one. By removing the things like these things, you are making the picture look very fake. You're making the picture look very staged. Staged means like very, you will make the picture look very edited, which is what the client doesn't want. Okay, so that's why we are only removing certain things, which is like what I've shown in the red here. Okay, so when you are when you're doing the task and you're going to mark something as a distractor, you will need to think, am I removing this item? Will it change the concept of the picture? Actually, there's something here also that needs to be removed. I just realized. Look at this light here. This part here. This small part light here. Yeah, this should have been also removed. So you see, as you're looking at a picture, you will find certain interesting things that could be removed. Okay. And then if like there's like some small dirt on the floor, that also should be removed because they're trying to make the picture very staged. Okay, so now next thing, I'm gonna close all this. Okay, now, so that is the focus. Okay, so now let's talk about qual 1a. Okay, qual 1a is a task where you are going to look at pictures and determine and pick what are focuses of an image. Okay, what is the image trying to tell? What is the focus of the image? What is the story behind the picture? Okay, what is the picture trying to, again, I don't want you to think of removing a lot of things in the picture and making the picture look fake. Okay, forget about, I know some of you might have done the old flash task. This is not the same, this is very different. Okay, so forget about the center of the image, the biggest object in the picture, all those things won't apply here. What will apply here is when you're looking at a picture that is taken by a person like you and me. Okay, what is what the person is trying to show us by taking the picture, or what is probably a better focus of the picture, because sometimes the photographer might take a picture by thinking, oh, this picture I'm trying to take a picture um, of something, but in the end, because of the wrong focus, the picture comes out differently, where another object is actually very big in the picture. So maybe let me show you an example. Okay, so look at this. All right. So usually, okay, in the old task, when we tell what is the focus of the object, you might think, oh, the thing that is the most closest. If I want to look at like that, this thing is the closest. So does this mean it is the focus of the image? Not really. Okay, so you have to think what the photographer is trying to capture, what was in his way. Okay, so every picture is like a story. You want to tell a story about a picture, what will the story begin with? Will you, and what is the impact? Like for this picture, do you think it's nicer to tell a story about this of this pole here and the shadow, or is it nicer to tell about this girl and this ice here? What do you think?
Shadow.
Which one is more better to tell? Is it, if you want to tell a story, if I tell you, okay, tell
Girl
me
about
tell me a sentence about this picture, do you think it is better to talk about this girl and the ice, or and what she's doing, or about this thing here, which is the red pole here? Which one is what do you call it, how do I say, which one has more impact to a person or people, or to a person?
the girl.
The girl, right? Obviously it's the girl. Okay,
Yes.
because for us we are humans, and for us the person and also something that is she's doing is more impactful compared to this pole right here. Okay, similar to this picture right here. Okay, old building. Okay, a guy is sitting there and he's staring at the door. So obviously you know that the building is actually important, correct, and the guy is also important, correct. Do you agree?
Yes, Shadow.
Yes.
Okay, but there are small things on this, on this wall that is actually a distraction, which is all these wires and this again. You might ask me, but what about this wall that is the paint all coming up? Okay, let me ask you this. If I were to leave the wall like this, do you you can think of a more serious story to tell, correct, rather than painting it all clean, correct?
Yeah.
So that's why I say your imagination is very important, because that is what the client is trying to capture. The client doesn't want us to remove all this, mark all these things as a distractor and remove, because the client wants us to capture. The client wants us to capture all these important things that is on in this picture. But at the same time, the client wants us to mark certain things like the wire, this rubbish that's here, this kind of things as a distractor. Okay. So again, I'm talking about distraction, but I'm also talking about focus. Okay, focus of the picture. Okay, if I want to talk about the first picture here, obviously here you know what is the focus of this picture. Do you think
Humans.
the two women are working on a computer
Yeah.
on the desk, correct?
Yes.
Okay, is this chair important for us to explain this thing?
No.
No, we can remove. Is this garbage bin important to explain these people?
No.
No, we can remove that also. Her bag, even her bag,
We can remove. Yeah.
we can remove. And most importantly, look at this corner. There's something bothering, right?
Yes.
Remove. And then there's some shadow here. Don't know what is the object.
Yeah.
Remove. Other than that, everything is fine. Okay. So we were going back and forth about that. So again, because it is so subjective, you will have some workers thinking, okay, the focus of this picture is the woman, the desk, and they are working. So do I remove their handphones or not? Because the handphones could be removed as the distraction. So I think half of us said remove, half of us say don't remove. Okay. So
Yeah.
again, there is no correct wrong answer in this case for examples like this, because what are we trying to talk about? We are trying to talk about the ladies here who are sitting on an office desk and doing their work with a computer and a laptop. So obviously things that are related to this table and the woman are not a distractor because that is the focus. So why do we want to remove the phone and make it look very artificial? Okay, so that is what I say. But I think some of us argued and saying if we can remove the phone, it will just be focusing on the people they're working. They're not using the phone, and it's just there as a distraction. Okay, but what I feel is that if you remove this, again, this is not in your, this picture won't be in your qualification, so don't worry. I'm just telling you so that you can start thinking like this. Okay, so the phone could just be there, okay, as part of the phone, them as a focus item. Okay, because if you were to remove the phone, then you might need to remove this hole on the table also. So a lot of things might need to remove, which will make the picture look fake, which we don't want. We want the picture to be as real as possible, but at the same time, uh, we want to make it look uh, as nice as possible. Okay, which brings me to the next idea, which is um, objects that are cut off like this. Okay, objects that are cut off like this should be removed because they are causing a distraction. But again, not all the items, because there are some items that, for example, this picture here. Okay, can you tell me like what is the focus of this picture? Like, sorry, I don't want to use the word focus. What is the picture trying to tell you?
Cow and the field.
Cow,
And the
grass,
field.
grass, they are all important things, right? So the cow and the grass and sitting in the grass is a very important thing, and those are the focus elements of this entire picture, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so however, can you see this small white spot here? So these are all, this small thing is a distractor. Okay, not all the grass, just this small thing. And okay, can you see this cow that is cut off from here?
Yeah.
Okay, this cow, although the picture is talking about the cow, this cow here is already more than half out of the frame. So you can actually remove them. Okay,
Yes.
so you will basically mark this as a distractor, and then you will draw a polygon around um, this cow, and then the client will actually tell the machine to remove this. So when the client removes this, so that this is the most interesting thing. Okay, when you are drawing something as a distractor, always remember this. Okay, the client will use a tool. So let's say we are drawing the polygon. We're drawing the polygon of the cow. Okay, draw already. Okay, so we remove this already. So once you remove this already, if you know Photoshop, what will happen to this space? It will look blank, right?
Yep.
So what the client will do is that the client will then use, according to the client, they will use some tool, it seems, which
You can see the same vegetation which is behind them.
take the vegetation surround, they will annotate the vegetation around it, and they will fill it up in this space, it seems. That is what they will do.
Yeah. Got it, Shavin. And what about this another cow which is on the floor, Shavin? Is
This
that
one is
okay?
fine. This is fine. This cow is fine. All the other cows are fine. only this cow, because it's already like half gone, more than half gone, we can Photoshop it out. We mark it as a distractor. There are other examples where you cannot do this, you cannot follow this process, which is one picture I can show you is, wait, let me show you if I have the picture here. So now we are still talking about pictures. I just want to go through about pictures with you so that you actually understand what the client is trying to do, so you can really think creatively when it comes to this kind of things. Okay, now I'm trying to look for the picture. This is stupid. Let me. It should be here actually. It's not here. Wait, let me get the picture for you. Give me 1 minute, because this was a picture that we specifically asked the client. Yes, I found it. Okay, look at this picture. Okay, so um, same concept. Okay, about focus. Okay, this board right here is already okay. I know there's more than half, but let's say it's cut off, so you want to Photoshop this board out. Okay, you cannot do so because of this problem right here. Let me show you. So this problem right here. So let's say you Photoshop this board out. Okay, you had Photoshop this board out already. Look at the surrounding of the board. Is there only water or is there grass also? There's water and there's also grass.
Yes.
So multiple different texture. So the reason why we don't remove this kind of things is because according to the client, if we remove this and the client does the same blending with the surrounding, okay, they'll be taking things around here to fill up this space. This part is okay, they can fill up because it's water. The moment they take from this part here, it will be difficult to blend already. Okay, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
It will be difficult for them to blend this environment into this space here because there are multiple different textures and it will be different to make. It will be difficult to fill up this section here with something. Okay, and the photo will be very blurry and it will look very fake. Whereas if it's somewhere in the water where the surrounding is water, they can just Photoshop around it and make it look like water fully. Okay, so when you're removing something, when you're marking it as distraction, think about that first. Okay, especially cut off objects. Okay, and again, not all cut off objects are distractors. Like this house is cut off, but it's not a distractor. Okay, because the picture that you're looking at is trying to show you a river view with houses at the side. What is distracting from this beautiful view is the pole here, the cables that are running here, and this light post here. Imagine this picture without this wire, without this pole, electric pole, without this lamp pole. Okay, so that is basically the picture. And okay, so another example that I want to show you. Okay, this picture here. Okay, this picture here. So The picture is actually of a husband and wife, or whatever. They are taking a picture in a what looks like a resort. Okay, so this house, this sorry, maybe let me take a screenshot because we want to edit. Okay, so these people and around in the resort, they're taking a picture. Okay, obviously there are a few elements that might be not distracting, but they are in the background. Okay, which is this house, this structure right here, and then there's a structure right here, and then there's something right here. There are things right here, okay, on the floor. Okay, now let's talk about things that are very clearly that are causing problems to this picture. Very clearly causing problems is these things. This one for sure, correct? Do you agree? This one for sure, right? This one, the small tiny things on the floor, these are all making the picture look not nice. Okay, all right. Now, these structures right here, although they may look like a distractor, they are distracting. But remember the rule where we are not trying to take away the original essence of the picture. We want to still keep the picture's essence in the in a photograph. Okay, but despite this house despite this house, there is something that can be removed actually, which is this thing here, which is actually quite distracting. Okay, and this could also be removed. Flower pot. And again, if we and then you might also think, what is this? Is this also a distractor? Maybe, because we thought it was, but I don't know. I wasn't convinced enough, or what.
Yeah, like Shavin, if it is in black color or in brown, dark brown color, it might not be a distractor. But due to his color also is sometimes it may distract the images, right? So
Yeah, so which means we can say uh this part here. Okay, so these are the things that are distractors. The tree, the house here, this house here, they are all background things that are part of this photo. They are not distracting you from the focus of this image. They are giving you some context to this image, because if you remove this, if you were to remove this house and this house, you will not know if they are in a resort, or if they are in some jungle, or if in some where is it. So this houses gives a bit of a context to where this picture is taken, which is actually good. Okay, the client wants this. What the client doesn't want is this kind of things that are odd and distracting, that makes the picture um, look not good, not perfect basically. Okay, so that is what we are trying to do with this project. Ultimate goal, the end goal is we mark and label all these things. And again, the client has given actually a list of things that we should classify. Okay, the client has given us a list of things. We need to just follow that. And also, if let's say there is something that is obviously a distraction, okay, we can label them and leave it as unknown object. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Just give me 1 minute. Huh? Okay. All right. Now, next thing. Okay. All right. So now let's go through qual one. So we understand a bit more of context. We understand all these things. Okay. Now let's talk about this task. Okay. So basically, the task is looking at the pictures. Okay, and identifying what basically and selecting. Sorry. Focus that are present in the image. Okay, 20 tasks to complete. Okay. I think this is not necessary. Toolbar nonsense or no need. Okay. So what are you given? You will be given a picture of people, places, object, food, etc., and anything. And then you will be given A, B, C, D as an answer. That is possible descriptions that would best talk about the pictures. Okay. So qual one is trying to see if you can understand what is the focus of a picture. Okay. That is qual one. Okay. So qual one is trying to um, understand if yeah. So qual one is trying to understand if uh, sorry, hold on. Yes, what is the focus of the picture? Okay, that is qual one. Okay. Now, next is what is expected of you. So you understand the main focus and then answer A, B, C, D. Okay. So you see here, identify the focus point. Sometimes the focus point would be obvious, that is centered or covers major part of the image. But at other times you may need to look at the whole composition of the image to determine what's the intentional purpose of the image. Again, okay, very, very, very subjective. Okay. So later in qual 1b, I'll be talking about all the distractors, type of distractors, but that is just a list of examples. Those are not the only things. Okay. And most of the time, just because you see a light doesn't mean the light is the distractor. Okay. We have spent 1 week talking to client, trying to understand the way their thinking is, trying to align our thinking, so to make sure that you guys understand it well. Okay. So again, so here are some of the questions that you want to ask yourself. I've already gone through earlier with the way with some of the pictures, but I want to go do it again so that you understand. Like here, now you look at the picture, you ask yourself, what is the picture trying to depict? Okay, what is the most important, significant point of the picture? What are the relevant parts of the picture? This is very important. Okay, which part of the picture leads to overall aesthetic? Okay, so this question, relevant parts of the picture, is very important because whatever is not relevant, you are going to remove it. Okay, so obviously, you look at this guy here, guy playing a guitar on a sofa. Okay, there are two things that doesn't fit in this picture, and if I remove them, the picture will look perfect. What are the two things you think?
This green color bag and card.
And the plastic, right?
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, and you don't have an issue removing them because the surrounding is just the sofa. They can just blend the sofa to this and to this part here. Okay, and plus this object is not even a focus object. Okay, just now the cow, it was a focus. We had to think 2 times before we want to remove. But this one is just a distractor. We can just Photoshop and remove it. Okay, so no, we don't have any questions. Okay, so same for this. Okay, you can see, if I were to tell you what is this picture about, obviously you will talk. The thing that you will talk to me about is these two people surfing in the beach. That's the first thing that you will tell me. Okay, and you can obviously see there's something here that is causing a distraction. Okay, okay, you won't talk about the sea first. Okay, while the sea is uh, uh, what do you call it, a focus. Okay, you will still, okay, you will still let it be part of this picture. Okay, which is, and of course remove just this. This is the distractor. What is it? Don't know. Here, obviously, the focus is the, what do you think is the focus is? The house. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, would you remove the trees and all? You would not, because if you remove the trees, it will look like a, what is it? Fake house, correct?
Yeah.
But what can you remove in this picture that will make it look nicer? The pole here, the wire here, and then in front of this house, there's this stupid sprinkler here. Okay, and then there's this light here. Then there's something here also. So those are the kind of things you want to remove. Okay,
Yeah.
that will make the house picture look nicer. Okay, this one, obviously, as I told you, it's a wall person. Okay, the things that are bothering you with this picture is not these cracked walls, because that is part of the aesthetic of the picture, but the wires that are dangling here. Okay, and not even the sticker, you know,
Right.
not even the sticker. Okay, because the sticker brings a significance on the wall, but this wire on the wall doesn't give you a significance.
And also you can consider this, I mean, in the left top corner, there's a brown color in the left top corner. Yeah.
The brown line.
Just because
Yes,
is you
correct.
can see only white color, but
You're
it is,
absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. And even this shadow here.
yes, because it is not a focused object shadow.
Okay, this one, the car. Okay, all right. The sun, you cannot remove it as a distractor because it is part of, I mean, The whole idea of this picture is the car driving through sunset. Okay.
Yes.
But what you can remove from this picture is this
Okay.
line that you can see here.
This reflection of
Yeah,
lights.
that line you can remove. Okay.
Yes.
Don't think about removing sky, removing sun, all these things, because that will change the aesthetic of the picture. Okay. Now this one, obviously, you have bridge. Okay. And then of course there's some plants also. Okay. And again, would you again, this is a very tricky one. Like, would you annotate, would you remove all the plants? You would not. You probably would just remove certain things from this, certain plants from this image, because if by just removing the plants, okay, you might remove certain, you might take away the entire picture here. Okay, so again, this is the kind of difficult images that we have. Okay, but what you could remove in this picture, okay, is this part here, which is the stone that is near the bridge, and also this building here. Those things you can remove, so that you actually will see a picture of the plant through, and also the bridge. Okay, all right, so let me just check this with you. All right, same thing goes here. Okay, focus is of course the elephants who are walking on the grass. This tree here is definitely a distractor. Okay, and some of the things here. This tree on the background is fine because it doesn't really take away your focus from this picture. Okay, but this tree you can remove, and this part here. Okay, and then this, maybe I'm so my question is this bird here. Maybe, yeah, we can remove this bird here also. Okay.
Yeah, because it is not a part of story,
Yeah,
anything. Yeah.
it's not part of the story. You wouldn't tell anything about the bird anyways. Okay. Same for this. Okay. So the crane, obviously you'd want to remove. Okay. Uh, the crane, definitely. The item, you still want to keep it there. The people and all, you want to keep it there. Maybe the spotlight you can remove. You can remove, but it's not like a deal breaker thing. The main thing I would remove here, right, the crane, other than the crane, is this here, the side here. You can see it's actually the tip of his flight.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would want to remove that, definitely. The background, that one all you can just leave it. Okay. So it's a lot like thinking, looking at the picture, trying to figure out the focus, and as you're figuring out the focus, you will think about what can I remove from the picture. But in order to know what you can remove from the picture, you probably want to look at uh, uh, you want to probably look at the list of distractors that is in qual 1b. Okay, so next would be, now selecting your answer, look at the picture, select the answer. Okay, like here Obviously, I'm not going to give you the answer. I'm just going to guide you. Should we look at the picture? Okay. Obviously, you know that the snow and the tree is like a major thing here. Okay. What is the question is again, this is not the latest screenshot. Okay. So again, you look at this picture here. Okay. What are the things that is distracting your view from this picture? Okay, this is not the answer. This is not the answer. This is just to screenshot only.
Okay. Yeah. Person.
Person for sure. Okay. The
So
snow for sure.
right bottom. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if you could remove something to make this picture look better, it would be
There's a right bottom green color
this
object.
thing, right? This whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing, whatever this thing is lah. So other than everything else, it's fine. So you look at the picture, you tell the focus, and then you pick the answer. That is basically qual one.
Shravin, can you go upside? In this image, I can see, for example, if these are the questions, there are two focus in this image. One is like uh,
Yes.
the person is sliding over there, and also
Yes.
trees with the snow.
Yes.
But if it, I cannot say this is sliding a man, because if it is sliding man, the angle view of the image will be different.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. So no, that's the thing. These answers are not correct for this picture. It's something
no,
else.
no, just leave about the answer, Shravin. Like we need to consider about what is the major focus of the image. In this image, there are two focuses are there.
The
Correct?
people, the person, and the tree.
Yeah.
Okay. So you will have a lot of focus. The only thing is, rather than when you're focusing uh, from like just because you're focusing on one, two things, don't accidentally miss the distractor because that is also important. Okay. So here, the man and the snow are equally important. The only thing that's not important is this thing here.
Okay. Do we have an option to select multiple categories in this qualification, Shravin, or we need to select only one category which is
You can
focused?
only choose one option, but if there is more than different multiple focus, it will be like this.
Okay.
So look at this picture. Let's do one. Okay, let's do one. Oh, sorry. Before that, let's finish all this first. So here are some examples. So in order to determine the focus, think about what the image is trying to tell you. In the image, you can see that two people are working on their laptops, okay, in the room. So the focus should be significant to the people and the significant objects that are on the table, which is the laptop, table, monitor, and etc. Okay. So the chair, you cannot take it as a focus. The trash can under the table also, you cannot treat it as a focus. So that is how you see here. As I told you, the people in surfboarding. This one, look at this. Clearly, you can see a picture of a man sitting in a park. Look at the surrounding. Okay. If you look at the surrounding, you can see that this pole is actually bigger than the man and also the stool on and the what do you call it, the chair. Okay. But okay, the park is also the focus. Okay. So if let's say your answer options given to you is man sitting on a chair, and the answer B is man sitting on a chair in a park, which one would you pick? Huh?
Second, B, man
B.
sitting in chair park.
Yeah. Man sitting in a chair in a park. Okay, and obviously you know what is the distractor in this picture. It is this thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then here,
Shravin, can you go to just previous image?
yes.
So sometimes those kind of polls also give one kind of gives one story to that image.
Mhm.
Sometimes that kind of polls also to identify the location. That kind of holes is also helpful to the image story. So at that time, do we need to remove that pole or just we can continue? If it is
Uh,
either similar simple pole, we can remove. If
so
it is
okay, so that's the thing. For hole annotation, if the hole is very small, don't have to annotate. Just annotate the whole thing. Like this one, the client wants us to go around the hole. This is for masking stage, correct? You're asking for the annotation stage, right?
no, Shabin. I'm
Oh,
just saying. So sometimes
uh-huh,
these kind of
uh-huh.
polls may give the story of the image. Like it
Oh
is
yeah, yeah,
a
yeah. Yes. Sometimes,
location.
yes. Sometimes the polls will give focus to the image. Sometimes it won't give focus to the image. So I can show you one picture where it gives you focus. Yeah, this one I need to remove lah because the focus is her actually, not. Um, yeah, not all the poles are distractors. Okay, not all the poles are distractors. All these cone, yes, they are distractors. Okay, but not all the poles that are in the picture are distractors. Of course, this pole, this one, all are distractors. Okay, but certain poles that are far here, you don't have to remove them because they're already too far. Okay, so you only remove the poles that. So basically, what is the focus of this picture? The street view. Okay, the street is the focus. Okay, this woman is also part of the focus, but because she's half gone, okay, we can remove her. Okay, and we can still blend the surrounding, so we can remove her. Other than that, you are going to be focusing on annotating these poles, this traffic sign, okay, all these things that will make the picture look cleaner. But at the same time, you don't want to be removing a lot of things to make it not look like a street. Okay, remember that. You want to be removing certain things, okay, but at the same time, you don't want to remove a lot of the things that will take away your focus from it being a street. So which means this lamp post all you don't have to remove, okay, but but this pole here you can remove, this one, and this cones obviously you can remove. Okay, understand? And then this poles here you can remove. So this is one of the most difficult pictures because it's a street. You cannot remove traffic lights from the street because, I mean, what is a street without the traffic light? Okay, understand?
Yes, yes.
Yes, Shabin. Yeah. So in front also they can remove this woman here.
Yes.
Middle.
This woman can be removed, again, subjective. If I think you can't, I don't know, I think we can remove her because we can blend the road around her. Simple as that. Yeah,
Yes.
even this grill also we can blend this part, and then this part everything all will just be the road, I think can. But what other things that are distracted in this picture is this different texture on the road. That one is definitely a distractor. And then this hole here, these are the things that the client wants us to fix mainly. Okay, understand? And then this hole here, not hole, I mean different potholes. So later In qual 2, I will show you what are the list of distractors. Okay. Okay. Now, next would be, okay. So here you can see, okay, image is a front of a door building. Okay, although the door is the center, it doesn't mean the bicycle is not a center of the focus. Okay. All right, doesn't, sorry, bear in mind that the bicycle is insignificant in scenario, hence it cannot be the focus of this one. Same goes for the potted plants. Yeah, to be honest, correct, Osola, correct. But at the same time, no, wait. Bear in mind the bicycle is the bicycle. No, wait. Bear in mind the bicycle is. All right. So the bicycle and plant are part of the house. Okay. The things that I would Photoshop out of this are distractors. Is this weed here, weed grass? Okay. The reflection on the curtain, this hole right here, and the dirt on the ground, the leaves. Okay. And whatever this white thing is on the window. Okay. Those are the things that I would Photoshop out of this picture. Okay. The bicycle and the plant, I will just keep it there. Maybe the doorbell also. Yeah. Just because it looks odd. I mean, I know doorbells are there in a normal house, but again, it's not really something that looks nice. Okay. And then this one, obviously, what is the focus? It's the building. Okay. Not
And
the
then
person or the puddle. Okay. Well, now what I'm thinking. Oh no, wait. I think the person also is important.
yeah,
Yeah. The person and the building is important. The water puddle is not the one that is important. Yeah. Correct. The car here, remove, and then this bright sun light here, light break here. You can't see the sun, but there's some weird light here, which doesn't justify. Okay. If there's a light, if there is a light bulb here that shines or the sun shines, then you can justify this light. But here, you can't justify it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, same for this also. Obviously, the distractors are the watermark. Okay. The watermarks are the distractors. Okay. So even if the image has a watermark, for this stage, ignore the watermark and just focus on what is the focus of the image. Okay. But watermarks, you need to annotate them as a distractor later in the different stage. Okay. So I will show you later. Same here, text. Whatever the text and everything, those are all distractions because the image is about the uh, buildings here. Okay. And the reflection on the buildings also are distractors. Okay. Because the focus is actually the building itself. Okay. Not the reflection on those buildings. Okay. Same. Okay. Again, except you now usually photo shoot images, okay, that are on a simple background, they usually won't have any distractors. Okay. So, but you will very rarely get this kind of pictures. Okay. For most of the time, you will have pictures that are distracting you. So like here, obviously the distractions are this line here on the floor. Okay. The wording and everything, this is all fine because it's a wedding picture, it's a celebration picture. So everything here is part of the concept except for these two lines at the corner here. Okay. Now some pictures might have one or two distractors, while some other pictures will have more than two distractors. Okay. All right. So this is basically qual number 1. So here you have a picture, okay, where you have a question and also you have 4 options, okay, and you have A, B, C, D as an answer. So once you know the focus of the picture, again, if it's more than one, it will be together like this. And if you feel this picture is talking about the seaside and the boats, you should pick A and then you just submit. Understand? Okay.
Got it, Shabby.
Okay. All right. So that is basically qual 1A. Now let's talk about qual 1B. Okay. Before that, I need to tell the other training will run late. Okay. All right. So now let's talk about qual 1B. Okay. So qual 1B is where you need to on A, 1B. Now this is the qual where you will be given a picture and you will be given certain things that are on the picture, okay, where you will need to select which are the ones are distractors. Not everything. So it could be the picture has multiple distractions. Okay. Whatever distractions the picture has, okay, you can select um, the what do you call it? You can select uh, the distractors. Okay, just so that they know. Again, there might be some distractors that are not labeled. Okay, so you shouldn't there won't be an answer for it. Okay, whatever that is labeled, okay, the sorry, let me rephrase this. Okay, this task is just asking you to, if there is a label on it, that object that is labeled, is that a distractor or not? Like for example, what is the focus of this picture? The focus is girl who's celebrating a holiday, her birthday, and there is a balloon. Okay, so the girl and the balloon are the focus object. Okay, so you're going to have things like E. What is E? E is actually the shadow of this girl. Is it a distractor or not? So there are rules of all this that I will go through now. Okay, if you think that the shadow of the girl, which is E, a distractor, you will select E. Okay, and then J is actually outside of the picture. If you think that J outside of the picture is a distractor, out of frame, you will answer J as a distractor. You will, and then if you think like here, is the C is this white thing here. If you think that is a distractor, you'll pick C. So this is how you actually do this task. Okay, now you're going into identifying distractors. So again, qual 1B. And again, I need to remove all this. Okay, so you will have A to J, and then based on whatever the A to J is, you will decide if they are, if whatever that is highlighted is actually a distractor or not. Now, again, it's very important for you to know the focus of the picture, which I will not go through here because we've already gone through this in the earlier parts of the qual 1A. Now, what are distractors? So distractors that I've been talking to you about for the past 1 hour, okay? Distractors are actually objects, items that are distracting you away from the focus of the um, thing of the image. They can be living things and they can be non-living things also. Okay. Now, when you're looking at it, so what are the elements of the picture that are drawing away from the main focus of the image? What are the elements of the picture that is impacting the overall aesthetic? Okay. What are the elements that are blocking the view of the overall image? These are all some of the questions that can help you to understand this task better. Okay, so remember the goal is to have a clear image, very nice picture, that the purpose of the picture, okay, and removing all the distractions. Okay, here is a list. Again, each of them have got their classifications and some examples. Okay, and but this is not the like the full list. If you see something but that is not in this list but you feel it is a distractor, you will need to label them also. Okay, so here are all the classifications. Okay, so each of these have got their own subcategories with a definition and examples. So we're going to look at them now. Okay, so wire. So all kinds of wire and cables that you see in a picture. Okay, most of the time they are all distractors. Okay, all right. Now this picture here, okay, it's quite tricky because the focus is the cable car itself. Okay. So here you have power grid wire, you have cable, electrical wire, and you have other any form of wire. So according to the guidance, any power grid wire that you see, you remove them. But now that I'm seeing this is a edge case where the focus here is the cable car. Okay, you can't remove this cable, or maybe you can remove this one. This wire you can remove, but the cable holding the cable car, that one you don't remove. Okay, understand? So this is a new edge case, we will update them. So here are examples, so let's look at them. So here yellow annotation means they are distractors, but they are other type of distractors. Okay, means other categories. Red annotation, so again, guys, this annotation is not correct. Okay, because if we were to write instructions properly, annotate all the pictures, it will take very long. So which is why we just drew like this. Okay, so the red annotations are the distractors for power grid line, power grid wire. The yellow annotations are distractors, but they fall in other categories. Okay, understand so far?
Yes, Shabir.
Okay, cable. Okay, there. These are cables. Red annotation, cables. Electrical wire, bam, all these things. Okay. The yellow here is obviously this one rubbish, this one shadow, this one. Oh, okay, they removed this also. Okay. So the client removed it also. So the client was correct. This one should have been removed. The signboard here. Okay. Others, we don't have any examples for now. If we have, we will add. Barricades and tape. So here, these barricades, all these things. The cones, and remember all these cones that I showed you, these are all barriers. Okay, so here we draw bounding box. Okay, you need to draw polygon around them, but that is called qual 2. Okay, that is qual 2, which is wait, qual 2 is the distractor masking. Yeah, qual 2 is distractor masking. So yeah, that is qual 2. Sorry, let me go and see qual 2 first. Okay, all right. So qual 2 is masking. Correcto. Okay, all right. Okay. Here, obviously, barricade tape. And see how accurate they are. Like barricade tape is a distractor, but these things all are also distractor where they highlighted it in a different color. Okay, because it falls under different category. Background vehicles, obviously, cars, lorry, van, all these things. Okay. Again, don't have to show you examples. This one here, obviously, you know, this van and also this bus is a distractor. Okay. Okay. Bicycles. So yeah, it just goes on and on. Okay. So not pretty straightforward lah. Okay, I want to focus on different stuff, difficult stuff. So here you see bicycle. Wait, no, this is what? Motorcycle. Okay, this one is bicycle. Different. It's annotated, but it falls under bicycle. So which means when you are annotating, okay, you will also need to tell what is it, the classification. But that is for production. For qual 2, you just pick A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, but it's important, useful for you because I'm telling you uh, in this task itself. Okay, here you have uh, uh, other vehicles, anything that doesn't fall in the vehicle categories. Okay, personal belongings, bag, hat, cell phones. So be a bit cautious when you are putting this, because if the person is carrying this, usually, okay, they are also focused. Just because you see someone carrying a bag doesn't mean that it is be automatically a distractor. Okay, remember this picture here. This bag becomes a distractor because it's bothering the aesthetic of the person. Okay, this person here, this bag is a distractor because it's actually on the side here. So these pictures don't necessarily show you, don't tell you, okay, this picture, this bag is a distractor. It is just showing you what is the bag. Okay, it's not telling you like, oh, like this picture, this bag definitely a distractor. No, it's not. Okay, I hope you understand, huh? Because we can't find pictures for every single example. So we make do with whatever we have. Okay, so same here, bag, hats, whatever that is a distraction. Okay, not something, just because it's in the picture doesn't mean it is a distractor. Okay, so this is the one. Oh, okay, the client said the phone is a distractor. Okay, so which means, guys, in this case the phone is a distractor. Bottles, cans, whatever, glass, but cans and bottles. Is that a bottle? Oh yeah, water bottle. Okay. Okay. And then of course, others. Anything else that is distracting you from the focus. Again, please be a bit cautious. Always remember, you are not trying to change the entire focus of the image. Okay. Always remember that. Okay. Arif, our Chappy training we start at 6 p.m. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I still haven't gone through qual 2 yet. Also.
So at what time we can have that call, Shabir?
6 o'clock. Okay.
6 o'clock. Yeah, I'll update my team. Yeah.
Yeah, you update your team. It's just going to be a short call because the client already covered everything with us.
Yes. I'll,
We'll just have a quick chat and then we can start.
okay.
Okay. So background, living things, animal, people. Very important. See, obviously, that person here, people who photobomb. Okay. Now, this one was quite tricky. Like, I asked the client, how is this woman not a distractor? So because she is not far from the center and she's also looking at the camera, she is focused. This one, she is a distractor because she is walking and she accidentally looked up. Okay. So the client says that these three people are not really the focus, whereas these two, they are more inclined to be the focus of the picture. Okay. So the looking also is important. So if the person is looking at the camera, but they are like a bit not at the center, okay, but they are fully visible and everything, they can be part of the focus also. While this woman who is walking away, just because she accidentally looked up doesn't make her as a focus object. Okay, and at the same time, not everyone in the background is a distractor, because you don't want to remove everyone. You just want to remove significant people who are taking away your focus from this guy here. Okay, same here. Oh, okay, the client said this one also not focus. This one we discussed. The client said this one also not focus. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I can see why though, but it's subjective. Okay, but again, it's very subjective. Because imagine without this and this, how will the picture look? The picture will look quite nice actually. And most importantly, you can easily blend. Oh, okay, I think they removed this because even though it is a focus object, the surrounding is just sky, so they could easily remove this and make the picture look like extra nicer. Understand?
Got it, Shravan.
Vegetation, tree, trunk, bushes, branch. Okay, so there are three things, okay. So there's tree and trunks, bushes and branches. So this is basically tree and trunks. Okay, tree. So this one the client marked as distractor. Interesting. So which means this two only is focus. This pole and this tree is distractor. Bushes, shrub or clump of shrub with the stems and of moderate length. So same here. Okay, bushes. Okay, so these are all. This is the bush, and these are all the distractors. Branches. Okay, so again, see distractors. So see this picture just now I showed you, the pipe, the socket, and the plant. Okay, and same here, pole shaped thing. So this one is we got poles, we got power poles. Poles are this electric normal poles. Power poles are this power grid punya hole, all power grid holes. Okay, and then of course, so the problem is you need to annotate holes one time, and select poles, and then the wire you need to annotate them separately and choose them as wire. That's the problem. Okay, same for this. Okay, and then electric towers again. Now this one is when electric towers are a distractor. Sometimes if the, like I said just now, like the cable car an issue, if it sometimes certain things might be the focus object. So don't just sit because I told you it's a distractor. Don't say it is it is a, just don't assign it as a distractor. Okay, same example. Riblets at ski area. So the riblets are these things, okay, where the ski passes by. Okay, so your guidance is to make sure there's snow around the area and you can see like a chair, then you know it is actually a riblet. Okay, so this one, the rate here. Okay, the chairs are not riblet. Riblet is basically the pole itself. Okay, the chair is something else. Okay, then others, whatever that doesn't fall into the category. Of course, then you have graffitis on the wall wherever. Then you have another category for water drainage. Okay, so examples, water drainage. Okay, and then inside here also swimming pool water drainage. Okay, examples only, not this one. Watermark. So this is the most important thing. So fonts. So certain pictures will have watermark, and some of the watermark will be very small or will be all around the picture. So make sure you are very careful when you are doing this. Okay. Illegitimate is basically text or fonts of the image that are legitimate you use. So like this, like date and time. Text or fonts that are illegitimate is basically these things. If you have a picture that has all this what do you call it, oh, why didn't they label this also? Oh, because it's too many. Yeah, so actually all of this, okay, all of this, all of this, everything is actually a watermark. Okay,
Shopping, even it is a legitimate also, we need to consider a distractor or no need to consider.
this is all, this is illegitimate because
Yeah,
it
this
is
is illegitimate. Can you go to the previous image? Yeah, this is fine, or do you need to remove this one as well?
this one also must remove.
Okay.
Remove. All types of watermark must be annotated. Okay. If sometimes certain photographers might sign their name at the bottom here, so that one also must remove. Just that it is legitimate. Illegitimate is basically this kind of copyrights.
Yeah.
Okay. And then urban things, signage, advertisement, surveillance camera, traffic signs, traffic lights, trash can, mailbox, newsstand, parking meter, all these things can fall under um, urban things. Okay. This one, yeah, okay, thank God. Okay. So this one, right? Yeah. The yellow is something else because this one should be wordings. Okay, and this one should be legitimate because though they are wordings in the picture, I think. Okay, I would say no, I think this one would be something else. This one would be signs, I think. Or graffiti, yeah. I mean, it can be signs, I think. No, is it a sign? Yeah, it's a sign. This one, sign. Okay. This one is advertisement. That's in the surveillance camera. Okay, here. So again, this is wrong. You shouldn't annotate like this. Okay. So the camera only, yeah. The pole is also a distractor, but it's a different category. Okay, very important. Okay. This one also. Okay. All right, same goes for this. So traffic lights, this is fine because the pole is actually the traffic pole, so it's okay. Unless it's a normal pole, then of course you need to label it. Okay, traffic lights, trash can, mailbox, and all these things. Parking meter. So this is the tricky one. Okay, so if you can, I didn't speak of this earlier, but we will talk about it now. Okay, if you can see this, this is the shadow of the parking meter, which is a distractor, correct?
Yes, sure.
Okay. So later I'll explain to you how you need to annotate this kind of object, where it's a distractor and there is actually a shadow. How you need to annotate this kind of picture. Okay. I'll explain to you later. Okay. But just know that this two is actually this two is what do you call it? It's a distractor, and this is the shadow of this thing. Okay. I'll explain to you later how you need to do it. And then things belonging to construction site. Here, oh my God. Oh, traffic cones. If this is considered, oh, folded barriers. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Traffic barriers. Okay, traffic cones. So let me see traffic cones. Okay, yes. Okay, traffic cones. Okay, this is cones. Okay, this one was, what was it just now? Hold on. Oh, this one is barrier. Yeah, this one is barrier. Okay, yeah, correct. Okay, so this is barrier. Okay, this one is construction site stuff. So they're slightly different. Okay, so here construction, anything that tells you there's construction going on, okay, they should be labeled under construction signs. Okay, and again, usually these things are foldable. Roadworks ahead. So crane, obviously. Okay, so again, general note, there is no threshold on the size of the hole. As long the hole is detailed in high quality, you should annotate the hole. So later I'll explain to you this also. Okay, holes are also to be annotated, but I'll show it to you later. Okay, I'll show you a production task for the masking so that you understand actually how holes are also part of distractors. Okay, So see here, for example, see here the crane. So here got holes, right? So you actually need to annotate the holes. Okay. You need to annotate the holes so that the machine knows. So I'll show it to you later. So like this, you don't have to annotate the holes because it's too small, the holes. Okay. If the holes are too small, don't have to annotate them. Traffic cones, straightforward. Okay, traffic cones. This one, traffic light, the pole is bigger. It's not just a normal pole. Okay, this one, traffic cylinder. Okay, so this picture right here, these are all traffic cylinders. Huh? Okay, all right, and then others again don't have any other. This one, spurious object or walls on ceiling. So this one is important. A lot of pictures that are indoors: switches, thermostats, phone, cable, power outlet, smoke detector, sprinkler, fish eye, dome camera, vent, all these things must be annotated out. So this thing here, the plug points. Okay, switches, thermostat. Okay, example. Okay, this one, wire belonging to this one, cable. These are all cables. Okay, not wire, they are cables. Huh? Okay, or power outlets also. Okay, smoke detectors. Again, don't accidentally mistaken it for light. Okay, please be careful. And then here you have all this. The yellow annotations are examples of other distractors. Red annotation is examples of smoke detector. Okay, sprinkler. Okay, can you see? So the yellow are also distractors, just that the red is the distractor for this category. Fish eye camera. So this one is the CCTV. So again, this is not under CCTV. This one is basically, the distinction is if you can see them, if they are like this, fish eye dome camera, they are not the regular CCTV camera. You label them as this fish eye dome camera, regardless of the place. Okay, usually they are found indoors, but sometimes they'll be found outdoors also. Okay, so as if you see the shape like this, the fisheye shape, label it as fisheye camera. Okay, if it's the other kind of camera, it's probably going to be labeled under CCTV. Vent, this one you will see a lot, and be careful, because there'll be a lot of vents. Okay, nails on wall, this is also important. Okay, if you can see nails visible on the wall, annotate all of them. Others, any other objects that you feel uh, uh, what is it? Basically, which are objects that are sticking out from the surface. Okay, I mean, yeah, you don't know what they are, but they are like sticking out from the surface. Okay, and they are a distractor. So here you have two types. You have a pothole and then you have a puddle. Pothole. Okay, pothole. Okay. Pothole, puddle. And then here you have something that is called a edge fill. So edge fill is something where, okay, the full image, okay, this one I need to draw and show you. The full image is like this. This is the whole image. Okay, let me undo. Okay. So this is the whole image. Okay. So this is the full image. And you can see this side and this side there is like white space. Okay. Sometimes you will see top and bottom also. So that is what we call as edge fill. Okay. That's like boundary of an image. Okay. And in top bottom. Highlights are basically circular flare. So sun
Okay,
is
I
an
have a question, Shavin here. Sorry for
yes,
the interruption.
yes,
So
yes.
for the edge fill, is it required in the both sides or only one side is fine?
Uh, I think you
Like
need to, oh, it has to be both sides. It
it has
has
to
to
be both
be,
sides.
it has to be either left and right or top and or top bottom. It cannot just be one side only. If it's just one side, you annotate it and then you put it as other, I would say.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah, got it.
got it, huh? So highlights are basically distracting lights or random flares that are on the picture like this. Okay, random lights that is distracting you. Okay, so here same. This one is not distracting lights because you can see that the sun is here actually. So you cannot say it as a distracting light. Here, this one, circular flare, reflection. Okay. Sometimes some of the pictures, there might be some things on the lens of the camera also. Okay. So those things should also be labeled. Okay. Okay. Understand, huh? And then here you have shadows. Okay. And then, so, okay. So this one is the tricky one. So there's two things, huh? There's one called shadows, which is dark area shape of produce. So this one, this here. So these are all, so let's go through this properly. Okay. To annotate for distractors as rating shadows, you need to first check if the shadow disturbing the object, okay, is actually in the picture or not. Okay. So which means you can see the shadow here, but can you see the object in this picture or not? You cannot, right? Like, can you see the actual object in the frame?
Shavin, sorry.
Can you see the actual object in the frame? No, right?
No, no,
The
no,
object
Shavin.
is somewhere here, but you can only see the shadow, correct?
Yes.
So this is what it means by shadow. This is the category that you need to annotate, shadows. So if you have something that is distracting you from the main focus of the picture, okay, it's a shadow, but you cannot see the object in frame, you will need to label it as shadow. Okay. So there's a category called shadow that will be, but that doesn't mean all shadows are distractors. Okay. So here, however, if the shadow has not merged together with other distractors, for example, it can be separated, especially if it changes. Uh, Okay, this is the other type of shadow. Okay, I will show you to you later. I have a edge case down here. Okay, so however, if the shadow is actually the shadow of a focus object, we don't have to annotate it as shadow. Okay, so which means this auntie here, can you see behind her got shadow?
Yes, Shavin, you can see the shadow of her.
So this woman, is she a focus object? She is,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So the shadow that she is casting must not be annotated as shadow.
got it.
Okay, it is only a shadow if it's a distractor only. So just now remember the parking ticket, the picture of the parking ticket, the parking lot, parking meter.
Yeah,
Okay, that
yes.
one is actually that shadow. You cannot label it as shadow. It will be labeled as something else. I will explain to you in a while. Okay,
Based
that
on object category, right?
yes, that is that the parking meter shadow has to be labeled as something else. Okay, which is called this one. This shadow, number 17 shadow, is only for distractors where you can only see the shadow. You cannot see the real thing that is creating the shadow.
Shavin, what if we can see the object over here, but we are not sure whether the shadow of that object or not, or else it is not connected. Generally, all the shadows are connected to the object, correct? When you see the image,
Yes,
because of some truncation of the original object, we cannot see the continuation to the object and the shadow.
but
So,
and you don't know if that shadow belongs to that object or not, correct?
yeah, if you look at the image, it is not attached to each other. So then it is,
But
but if you look at the shapes, it is belongs to the same one.
then you can then it is the same. Then of course, then you cannot apply this rule. This rule. Okay, if you can see the object and you can see the shadow. So I think there's an example. Let me show you here. We need to imagine. I know this is difficult. This one is very difficult. Okay, let's say this person is the distractor. I know he's not. Let's say for the sake of training, this person is a distractor, which means this shadow will also become a distractor, correct? So far you're following me?
Yes, Shavin. Can you repeat again, Shavin? You're saying?
So let's say this guy, this one, just for training purpose, this guy is not a distractor, but for training, let's pretend this guy is
Okay.
a distractor.
Okay.
Okay. So if this guy is a distractor, this shadow is his, right? His shadow, right?
Yes.
So which means this one is also a distractor. If this one is a distractor, the shadow of it is also a distractor.
Okay.
Okay, but this shadow, you cannot label it as this one. You cannot
Yeah.
label it as shadows. You have to label it as distractor shadow, something else.
Okay.
So
Uh,
when do you use this shadow in this case? Can you see the object in the frame? Cannot. But the shadow is there. So you will draw it as shadow. Okay?
Shavin, can you go to the same image that you take it as an example now?
This one?
Yeah. So in this image, the focus of the person, focus of the image is the person with umbrella.
Yes, of
So
course.
and we are not sure about whether the shadow is up for the over the person or any other object in the image.
Yeah, but you look at the picture. You look at the picture, you know that this shadow is the person by looking at how
Yeah,
the
correct. But might be if it
uh-huh.
is opposite direction, other side, maybe some any object, any other object.
So if let's say you are not sure, you feel like let's say you feel like this shadow does not belong to this guy, it
Yeah,
is something else, then this one you will annotate it
shadow,
and then you will call it as
shadow.
shadow. Okay,
Yeah,
understand?
right. Got it, Shiv.
Got it, huh? Okay, very important, huh? Okay. Then this one is image level obstruction is reflection occlusion on camera, chicken wire and grids, barbed wire, razor wire, fence. So here there is no, again, that's the whole issue here also. So here you have reflection. Okay. Surprised this reflection they didn't take. Okay. Anyway, occlusion on camera are these white spots of water on the camera. So these are all spots. Chicken wire.
Shabin, can you go to the previous one? Yeah. So there are some reflects here. The distractors are there. So when you're putting the key points in the task, so
Uh-huh.
do you need to put the key point for each in each and every dot, watermark over here, water dot over here, or
Yeah, I
not?
would say if it's like this, okay, if it's like too small like this, you can just put one key point, okay, but you need to put a comment, I think, because the person won't know if not, okay, because if
Yeah,
you if you maybe you put a few key points here so that the person will know this whole thing is occlusion on camera. If the dots are too small, okay, you can actually annotate the whole thing like this.
mhm.
So in terms of key point, you can put, if it's big dots, you can just put one key point and say uh, uh, the whole area, okay, or you can put like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 key points so that when the workers see it in the masking section, they will know that they need to annotate the whole section here. Okay, so
Understood, Shabin.
this is one of the edge cases. Okay,
Yeah,
because no point you putting so many key points on tiny things, because you are going to annotate the whole area and just remove the whole thing. Okay, chicken wire, this one. Okay, this one is something else, huh? Barbed wire, you know this one, huh? Razor is this, barbed wire is this. If you can't see it properly, just pick either one will do. Okay, so this one, barbed wire. This is a good example. So you see this dog Arif. This shadow here belongs to the dog. Okay, the dog is the focus object. So the shadow that belongs to the dog don't have to annotate. Okay.
yes,
However, this shadow here belongs to something else that is probably here, but you can't see it. So this one you will label it as shadow.
shadow. Yeah,
Okay. Oh, okay. So this one, I forgot to talk to you all. So the way you will annotate this one is like this. You will annotate like this. You'll annotate like this. Okay.
can we overlap or understand, Shabin?
Yeah, you can overlap your annotation, no problem. The only issue is, okay, actually there are multiple ways of annotating to this one, to be honest. You can annotate like this. Okay. Okay.
It's better to
So
annotate the cross, Shabin. It's better to
yeah,
annotate class. Yeah,
yeah, you can there are a few ways you can annotate across, but the problem is what will happen is if you annotate like this, okay, let's say you annotate like this. Okay, and the issue happens when if you are going to annotate, I think, right, this one, uh, oh no, Arif, I think I know how to do this. Like this, you just draw around this whole thing, okay, and then you draw a polygon, and then inside it you draw like this.
so do
No,
we need to annotate the holes in between that, Shabin?
no, cannot, you cannot do like this, because
Yeah,
you want, like, you I'm trying to think how to annotate this. I think the client told us just annotate the whole thing because they will just remove the whole thing. Don't have to annotate the holes. You don't have to annotate the holes because I think they will remove. Uh, I think they will remove this whole thing. Yeah, they'll remove this whole thing, but I can check. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, I've asked. I will clarify and let you know. Okay, but thank God for qualification is not there. Object that decreases the aesthetic scene. So this one, rubbish. All the rubbish, all the things that you find that is bothering you with the picture, you can label as this. Okay. So discoloration, rubbishes on the ground, all those things you can put it there. Okay. So again, this one belongs to some other category. Okay. The red annotations is the one where you want to talk about rubbish. Okay, line shape distractors. Okay, so here other items. Okay, this one we don't label it as Potter. Sorry, hold on. Okay, and then uh, uh, okay, so this one is actually just an empty bottle. It won't go under bottle. Maybe it can go under bottle. I don't know why is it here because there is a category for bottle. Can. No, is it a can? There, cans and bottles. We could have put this. Yeah, this should have been a bottle. Ah, okay, never mind. We label this as bottle. Where is it? That's the picture. Yeah, we label this as bottle. Okay. And then here, all right, all these unknown objects that decrease the aesthetic. Okay. Same for this. Okay. Here we have line, seams, and others. So any cracks that you see that is right. Again, be cautious. Don't go and annotate every single crack you see on the road. Uh, uh, so if you see lines like this, you can annotate the line. Okay. Here, same thing, the line. Okay, be as accurate as possible, huh? So normal known things, any architecture, any buildings that you think that are distracting, you can label them. Okay, see here, architecture. This one is aesthetic, object that decreases aesthetic. Okay, and then here you have other things. This is object others. Okay, known object. It's something that you know, but again, it's other normal known objects. Okay, that's basically it. And then the last category is unknown objects. If there's something that you can see a bit but you don't know what is it, you label it as unknown objects. Okay, so same like this. This one. So bam. Then once you have recognized or once you understand the distractors, you can now call. So let's say A, B, C. Obviously, C is the distractor. Okay. A, B, C, D. You know CD is the distractor. This one, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, R. You know which are the distractors. Okay. Same for this. Okay.
Got it, Shravan.
Okay. So just example of the examples lah. Okay. Just to show you all what are distractors. Okay. Again, we don't have time to show you how to annotate properly. Okay, but when you're doing the annotation, please make sure you draw it properly because the client is going to Photoshop it out. So whatever you're drawing, the client will Photoshop it out. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Damn, man, this is long training. Okay, this one also. So this one, distractor. Okay. This is the one. So this is one annotation. This one, the shadow of this will be another annotation, and it's called something else. Okay. Okay, it's called something else. I will let you know later what is this called. Okay, but if the distractor has a shadow, that is also a distractor. Okay, just remember that. Okay,
Shravan, is a distractor in that image, Shravan?
which one? This one?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think so. It is a distractor, right?
this is a distractor. The pole also, the shadow of the pole also is a distractor. This is the focus.
I think that the photographer have focused on the whole equally divided in the white and the blue part of the sky. No.
No. This one is from the client. So if there is a pole, there's a human. Emphasis is on the human because you can tell a better story using the human than the pole.
Yeah, I think the both person and the pole both are the focus in this image.
No. Definitely not. So again, the pole is just a distraction because imagine this picture without the pole.
Yeah, it's look good, but here this with the pole also, they are equally divided into the white and blue part. So
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing. So again, the white and the white and the blue and the person here. So again, I know the pole is closer to the screen, but that doesn't mean the pole is also important. So the client's understanding is they want us to make it more living things oriented also. So if you have like this where you have people at the back, but the pole is there, just one pole. If there's many poles, then you know that obviously the person is the distractor. But because it's just one pole, the emphasis straight away goes towards the person compared to the pole.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Okay. So
Thanks
again,
for
I understand. When I first looked at this picture, I also was thinking, why do I want to remove the pole? But again, the client told me, imagine this picture without uh, the pole and the shadow, and put it on the internet. Will you be able to use it for nice story, cover story? Then I said, yeah, I can. So then they said that is the thinking. I was like, okay. Okay. So same, these are all examples. Again, example of the examples, huh? Okay. So this one, okay. So again, I will explain to you in qual 2 how to handle this kind of situation. So this one will be the distractor. This annotation will be something else. Same goes for these people and the shadow below here. So if you look at the bottom here, now if you look at the bottom here, you can see the shadow of these people. These people are distractor. So this shadow also must be annotated. This bench also is a distractor. This shadow also must be annotated. Okay. And how to annotate them, I will show you in qual number 2. Okay. But these are not known as shadow. Huh? This one, okay, this is very stupid. I know. This one is, I'm telling you, this is not shadow. It's called something else. So don't label this as number 17. This one will be something else. This kind of things. Okay. When the distractor is in the frame, okay, and the distractor has a shadow, it is labeled as something else. The shadow is annotated and labeled as something else. Okay, I will explain to you in qual 2. Not qual 2, I'll explain to you here itself. Okay, so here, so what is the difference between shadow classifications and shadow distractor? So if the distractor has a shadow in the frame, you will label it different as a separate thing, not as shadow. Okay. So here, okay, this thing here is actually a, so in this example here, you can see a standalone shadow that is circled in blue. As you can see, there is no object to be seen in the image that is casting the shadow in this image. This shadow is annotated by distractor masking and labeled as shadow. So this is what it means by shadow. Okay. Now, where in this case here, this is also the same concept where it's also labeled as shadow because the object is like out of frame. Now, while these things here, okay, these are called shadow distractor. Okay, so how you will annotate this is that I'm going to show you like this. Okay, I'm going to open a task here. Okay, so what is going to happen is, so let's say, okay, this person is a distractor. He got one shadow here. Imagine, pretend. So let's say this guy is a distractor. He got one shadow here. So I'm going to go and, okay. So again, remember, understand what I said, okay. No, maybe it's a bad example because the person got no key point. Okay, let's say this person is the distractor. He got one key point here. Okay, I got key point here, and this is the shadow of the person. Okay, okay, this person is a distractor. This is the uh,
shadow of the person.
this is the shadow of this person. So what you will draw is, you will first click on distractor masking. You will click on the polygon tool. You will draw a polygon around the distractor. Okay, and then you will finish it, and then you will click on this. You will select, what is it, people, right? What was the thing just now? living things are A, B, C, D. This is not even. Where is this now? Okay, background, living things, people. Okay, and then you will answer like a few things. Okay, you will answer all these things. You will answer a few things. I'll explain to you later. Okay, in what do you call it? In qual 2 or in production, I'll explain to you. And then you will answer if it's occluded or cropped. So this one is very easy, right? Okay. Is the person fully visible or is the person cropped? Occluded means they are fully visible, but something is blocking them. Cropped means the person is not fully visible, not fully in frame. So what are they?
Crop.
Crop. So this one is straightforward. I'll talk to you later. This one. So true means yes, they are either occluded or cropped, either one. False means they are fully visible. So like this person, if he is a distractor, he will be false. Means he is not occluded, he's not cropped. Okay. So this one annotate ready. So the shadow of the person, so what you will draw the shadow of the person, you click on this shadow distractor. You will click on the polygon. You will draw the shadow, and then what you will do is you will go to the distractor masking and you will relate the shadow to the person. Understand? So which means this shadow belongs to this distractor. That's what you're talking. That's what you're saying. Understand?
Got it, Shabin.
Yeah, all right. So that is what it says here. Okay. So, and this one here, third point, shadow or focused image don't have to annotate because the focus object is not a distractor. So which means the shadow of the focus object also is technically not a distractor, because if you remove the shadow, the picture will look fake. Okay. So we have added a few examples for you. All right. So this is actually qual 1A and qual 1B. Okay.
Shabin, I have another question, Shabin. Just now you have added one person, right? Like person occluded and shadow. Yeah. So for example, if the shadow is attached to the person, like next to the person, the shadow will continue. Okay.
Then same thing. You stop where the person is, and then you draw the distractor shadow. Don't
Okay.
don't draw together.
All right. Yeah. So at that time we need to club the like attach the two lines, two annotation lines exactly to each other, or can we
Must
just
attach
randomly,
together. Attach
uh,
together like this.
or
Attach
just we
together.
can just I have a question, Shabin, because to annotate the person shape it will take time. Okay. So generally we can annotate the shadow first, and on top of the shadow we
Mhm.
can annotate the person with the exact shape, like
Yeah,
masking
yeah.
order.
You can, as long
Right.
as you follow the correct shape of the outline. The overlapping part is okay. Client didn't make any points that cannot mustn't overlap or anything. That one was okay. I think the client didn't say anything.
But will not give the exact shape to the shadow, like exactly where the person touches. But on top of the person, will annotate the exact proper annotation, so that when you see the masking order, you can see the proper annotations.
Yes.
We
Okay.
can do that.
You can do that. Okay.
Thank you,
You
Shabit.
can definitely do that if it's even if it's connected. Okay. You can annotate the shadow first, and then you can annotate the main person, but make sure must relate. If you don't relate, then it will be wrong.
So
Okay.
we need to create the shadow to the distractor.
Yes, must always, unless you are using number 17 classification. This one won't have the relationship because this shadow is like shadow only. There's the no object in frame,
Yeah,
right? Okay.
got it.
Okay. So that is,
Shabin,
Yes.
if the shadow is split into two, like for example, in the middle of the person hand is absolute like
Okay. So which means you draw one, you draw like this. That is very good. I'm glad that you asked me. So let's say uh, this woman is a distractor. Okay, pretend this woman is a distractor. This box is the focus object. Let's say she got. Let's say, oh no, 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 like this, not like this. Let's say this box is is the focus object. Okay. So this part of the woman is a distractor. This part of a woman is a distractor. How will you draw? Like this. Like this. You'll draw like this, and then you'll draw like this. Okay. And then if got shadow behind the distractor, you will draw the shadow. Okay, and then you will relate it to either, you can relate it to this distractor. Don't have to annotate to, don't have to relate to this, unless actually you can also, this shadow you can relate to this distractor and this distractor also. Let's try and see. Here, let's try here. So let's say I draw another distractor. No, I draw another distractor masking here. Distractor shadow to, oh no, cannot. Okay, so the distractor can only be associated to one distractor. The distractor shadow can only be associated to one distractor masking. So which means if, let's say, Arif, in this case, if the shadow is of the top part of the distractor, associate to the top part only. Okay, if there's something blocking lah, just now like I showed you, understand, right? If let's say there's, the body is cut off, this is the woman is the distractor, cut off ready like this is the focus object. Okay, this one, the distractor, as the woman as the distractor, will have one annotation like this, and then another annotation like this, and then her shadow, which is the distraction, you will annotate it as shadow distractor, whatever the shape is, and then you will relate this to the
any
top,
of this.
any of the one. I think any of the one will be fine. I think the client won't be that particular which site we relate to. Okay,
Yeah,
but
and
don't cut off only, because if you cut off, when they Photoshop, they will remove the focus object also.
yes, yes.
That's the very important thing.
Yeah, it's similar to that. If, for example, the distractor is fully visible and the shadow is split into two. So
Same.
at that time, so same.
Same concept. Same concept. If the
Okay.
item is fully visible, shadow split it into two shadows.
Two
And
shadows we can delete. Two shadows we can delete as shopping. We cannot delete.
I think you can relate for sure. I'm sure you can relate. Let's see.
Annotate another shadow here.
No, I'm not reading another shadow. Yes, can. Oh no, cannot. Can that, because it's
Right.
box.
Got it.
Can. But this one in production for qualification, you won't have. I think you have. Yeah, you will have. I think shadow masking. Yes, you will have. Yes, but I don't know if you'll have like the, like example, like two shadows and then annotate one. Okay, maybe you will have lah, because some shadows, like this example here, this one, this shadow distractor of the chair got a lot of holes and there's like something here, so you will need to do two annotation for shadow. See, you will need to annotate this part here as one shadow, and then this part here you need to annotate as another shadow, because there's the chair is in between in here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, all right, so that is,
And those gaps are negligible, right? Shavin, or do you need to enter the holes again in that?
oh must no, for shadow don't have to annotate the holes, because they're going to just remove the whole thing.
Okay, even for the distractor.
Distractor got holes, must annotate the holes. That one, unfortunately, you must. So this one will be annotated as holes. This one will be annotated as holes. Relationship to the distractor.
Okay.
Okay. So that one is qual 2 lah. Okay. So qual 1, all you need to do is you need to identify. Sorry, this I need to delete this. Where is it now? Yeah. So all you need to do is for this one, as long as you understand what the distractors are, okay, and you just select it. Okay, that's all you need to do. Okay, so I can do one for you lah, just so that you understand. Wait,
Shabin, so do we need to understand the photographer requirement, or just to make the photo beautiful, we need to identify the distractors?
what again? Sorry.
So do we need to understand the photographer capture, like what he wants to capture? Those we need to identify, or so we need to identify the distractors to make the image beautiful. Like for example, if you see in this image, the top one, the top direction, which is a rectangle, it's focusing me. Like I can consider as distractor, but to make the image beautiful, we can remove that one in general.
Yeah, you can remove, but this qual,
But
it's not asking you to remove it. It's just asking you on these numbers. Like for example, C. What is C? C is the tree. Okay, is the tree a distractor? Like this one, E. This sticker here, is this a distractor? Then
yeah, I understood, Shabin. I understood.
okay.
So when we need to identify the distractors, so where we need to focus? Like, do we need to focus on the what exactly?
Yes. What is
Photographer-
what the photographer is trying to say? Yes, you need that.
Mhm. Got it. Shabin.
Wait, okay, wait, I mean, okay, so let's do some of this, okay, just so that we understand. Okay, because it's very difficult actually to just give you this and tell you what you need to do. Okay. So number one, okay. So look at this picture. Okay. Obviously, the focus of this picture is the signboard and the house behind it. Okay. That's so. This is the case. Uh, this is the case where uh, this is the case where you have uh, the signboards are being the focus, okay, of the image, and the houses are also the focus. Okay, that's one you need to understand first, because I know I told you the poles and traffic signs are all distractors, but in this case, okay, you simply cannot just remove this entire thing, okay, and just think and tell the house is the focus. Understand?
Yes, Shabin.
Okay, so which means the distractors in here is, look at the tree. Do you think the tree is appropriate representation, or is it something that is necessary in this picture?
No.
No, right? So the tree can be removed. Okay. Now, what is the another thing that you think is can be removed that is very focused uh, uh, and should be removed?
That's a grill Shavin behind I.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think this is more as a, this one is more like a distractor, or would you say this one?
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
For sure, right? Okay. All right. So again, don't.
Arvind, I have a question here.
Yeah.
Regarding the tree, see,
Uh-huh.
we have chosen. No? In the beginning, you explained about the boat, right? There was a boat and there was a water and there
Yeah.
was a bush also.
Yeah.
So if you consider that point, here one behind that one house is there, and in
Yeah.
front of that bushes are there. So it will be
So
difficult to remove that image, right?
remove the entire thing, yeah. So I asked the client about this also. Okay. So according to the client, if it's different textures like wall and sky, they can remove, it seems. But if it's like water and also land, then it's a bit difficult, it seems. That was the explanation. So
Okay, sir.
it was, if the materials are like almost the same, they say they can remove it. Okay.
Okay, got it.
But if it's like very drastic, they say they can't. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So this would be the answer. Okay. So I'm just going to submit. Okay. So that's like 20 pictures. So I just don't overthink. That's the other issue. Okay. So here you have quite a lot actually. Okay. You have quite a lot here. Okay. So let's look at A. Okay. So no, first tell me the focus of the picture. The focus is the car and the, I assume the building, of course. Correct? What do you think? Uh-huh. What do you think
Yeah.
is the focus?
Yes, Shavin. Is that A?
So hold on. So the okay, so okay. So I is not the car, I is reflection on the car. Don't accidentally think it's the car. So that's why I said must be very careful. So the car and the road is the focus, and maybe the building behind. Okay, that's it. Can we agree that is the focus?
Yes, Shavin.
Okay, so let's look at number one by one. A, is it a distractor?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's looking like distractor.
Yes, it is a reflection, right? So it's a light flare, so which means it's a distractor. Okay.
Yeah.
And then next would be let's look at B. Where is B?
E.
Where is B? B. Is B a distractor?
Yes, Shavin. Yeah.
B is a distractor also. Okay. Then
And E.
yeah, E first. Well, let's look at E. Hold on, no, one by. Let's go A, B, C. C.
Okay. Yes. Yes, Shavin.
Okay, good. C is a distractor. D, stain on the wall.
Yeah.
So distractor, right? Okay. E, for sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, E. Okay. What else? Where is F lah? Oh, F. This grill here.
It's looking fine, no, Shavin. It's like
Yeah.
that's all.
So this should be a distractor, right? Because it is, if it's just the plant, it's okay. But this one is like, it's not taking your focus away from the full car, like not for taking your focus. It's just not photogenic enough. So F, G, obviously.
Shavin, F is a distractor, Shavin.
Yeah, F is a distractor because like it is actually, there are lines going which is actually disturbing the back view of the vehicle.
Like because the car is taken in the outdoor photo is taken. Generally, there may be a grills over there. There may be a,
Yeah. So
because
again, you can remove it. So if there is something that is like odd in the environment, like a grill or something, in this picture there are a lot more of distractors, just that they are not labeled. Like for example, this thing here is also a distractor. Um, this wall here is also a distractor. This vent is also a distractor. This is also a distractor. This line here is also a distractor. So again, that's why I'm saying not all the distractors are labeled here. Only certain ones. So F is definitely a distractor because it is. If you look at the picture, you feel that this area could be a bit cleaner. Because of this line, it looks a bit cluttered. Okay. And also this part also should be a distractor, but it's not labeled, so it's fine. Okay, so F confirm. G obviously. H obviously, right? These two. G and H. Now last one is I. Okay, I is reflection on the car. Okay, very subjective. Okay, but if you can see a reflection on the car, okay, that is heavy, you can mark it as a distractor. J, I'm not marking it because, like, if you remove the road, where is the car going to be staying? Position.
Shabin, even for the eye also, it is not that much noticeable, right, Shabin? Like
Yeah, it is not that much noticeable, but you see the because of the reflection, actually technically it's quite bad. Like you can see the entire road on the car. You can see the reflection of the road. So that's why they are removing it. And you can see like a different color here. So that's why.
okay.
Okay. So J, I wouldn't mark it because J is actually the road. Okay. So that is basically how you do qual number 2. So it will take some time for you to actually understand this. Okay. So for example, obviously the stair, this A, definitely has to be removed. This guy also has to be removed for sure. Okay. Uh,
C should be there in the top, middle top.
C.
Yeah,
Yeah, C should be there.
yeah.
Okay. So A should be removed. Okay. Where is B?
Be inside the person, inside the person.
Should be removed for sure. Then
C
where is
on top, C on
C?
top. Yeah,
Shouldn't be removed.
yeah,
D shouldn't be removed.
yeah.
E, E, E.
We
Yeah,
can
E
remove.
should be removed, I think.
Yeah.
E, F, F. Oh, yes, F need to be removed. Wire,
Where is where? Yeah, we can remove.
wire remove. F, G, this one. Oh, yes, white color something. Because the focus is this entrance here. Okay, F need to remove. F, sorry, G. H is the light. Actually, can also, I think.
Should be removed. Yeah.
Yeah. And I definitely. Okay. So then the picture would look really nice. Okay. So, all right.
And if in case if there is a number over there next to left to the J, that tree should not be removed, right, Shabin?
Oh, this one. Yeah, you can remove actually. Because why you want why because the focus is actually the entrance. The tree definitely I would remove also.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because it's not that doesn't mean it's not a distractor. It's just not there because we didn't put A, B, C, D on it.
Mhm.
Okay. Technically, this person also is a distractor because they are standing out in odd of all the other background people. Okay.
What about the trees inside, Shabin?
Which one?
Trees which are inside?
Uh, the seating on which one?
Inside, yeah.
Oh, this
Yeah.
tree. Never mind. As I said, if it's too far, it's not really the focus. It's fine. Okay. All right. It's fine. Only these things that are like too close and distracting you should be removed. The tree inside is fine. If you remove the tree inside, it will look too awkward.
Yeah. Got
Okay.
it, Shabin.
All right.
Sharvin, in this qualification, you want the workers to identify all the distractors, like
No,
in the previous image, car image.
not
We
all.
have, yeah,
Not identify all the distractors. Look at A until J.
yeah,
Okay, understand the focus, and if you think they are distractors, tick them.
yeah. I mean to say, when we had a car image, there was a reflection. We had a confusion about this.
Yes.
That is, we are going to consider or not. In this
Uh,
dilemma, there will be tolerance, right? For
there
this.
will be tolerance definitely in this situation. Consider it.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Okay. All right. Understand. So that is basically qual 1B. Okay. So again, this has been a very long session. Okay. What I'm going to do is hold on now.